All right. Welcome in to Toilets to Titles. Episode number 89. Week 4 has ended, and week 5 is just around the corner. With me this evening to talk about all fantasy football things you need to know about are my guys. First, below me, we've been missing him a few weeks. He's been super busy. He just put the main man, Finley, down. We just celebrated a birthday, right? Finley?
Yes,
Finley
sir,
celebrated number 1?
1 year old.
1 year old. It's a power move. So Finley's out here making power moves, for the brand. Toilets to Titles. He's representing age 1. Probably had a huge day. Lots of gifts, lots of cake, ice cream, probably partied real hard. Right now he's sleeping. But Nate, we got you with us live at Nate_Dirt19. Nate, how we living?
Very good. Feels good to be back. Been swamped at work and I just couldn't get away. And the phone's not ringing, so I don't even care. So I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to talk about some football.
That's it, man. You've been every Wednesday, Dollars to Deuces with Rich R. Gonzalez, RM, our resident Raiders fan, who we'll have to check on because I think the Chargers exposed them a little bit, but we can talk about that later on. He's not in here. I can see there's an eyeball with a 0, so that means there's no viewers in here right now. So Rich isn't here.
He'll be here soon.
He can't come after me. Oh, I know they will. But I know for now, Rich didn't hear that until he actually listens back to the episode. But Nate is on there every Wednesday night. I want to say like 10 p.m. Eastern. You guys go live, Dollars to Deuces.
It's been, I think the last 2 weeks it was like 10 o'clock. So it was like 11 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Because Rich kind of switched his job up, so he doesn't get home till late. And so we just kind of been, I can make it work, and it works for both of us to do it then. So.
And it always releases. It'll be on the podcast form.
Thursday morning.
Thursdays. All right. Now I got to introduce my next co-host, the Scat Man himself, Justin Stevens at JustinFF_. Justin, what's cooking?
Let's see if I get this. Is it ski doobie doo bop bow?
Yeah.
Bow.
That's it.
I'm doing my best here. I'm
That's
taking
very good.
That was very good. We might have to make that
was very good.
Okay. Can we please cut that and make that a drop? I know we don't have the ability yet. I'd like to play that for no reason. I'd like Justin just to be talking about analysis and me just hit him saying ski do boo boo da down.
Where's the Mike?
I just want that to be the.
What's that, Nate?
I just need that to be this. I want that to be like my ringtone for when I get text messages.
Oh, that would be great.
Guys, I could do so much better than that.
Yeah.
not with a scat, but I could come up with something good for you.
No, I think that was good, man. So if you guys are new to the show, we're doing a weekly challenge just so you're aware of the inside joke. So it's not 100% inside, so you guys can actually laugh with us. Yeah. Our game of the week, which we're going to talk about a little later on, we each pick a game of the week. Whoever's game of the week has the biggest points differential is the loser, and whoever's has the closest point differential is the winner. The winner gets to choose the name that. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, under my face, under me in the video, it says at Coach Sheps. Under Nate, it says at Nate_Dirt19. And then Justin's just says I'm the Scat Man. So we get to choose his name. So within the last 3 weeks, he was the Three-Eyed Raven 3 weeks ago. He was Master Roshi last week. And this week I was listening to I'm the Scat Man with my kids because they think it's a funny song. They think it's actually tell Alexa to play it. Because how Alexa says I'm the Scat Man, she says ski boop boop butt up. And hearing Alexa say those things is very funny. So say that to your Alexa. Have her say it. But anyway, Justin, I was like, man, he's got to be the Scat Man this week. So he is. But enough of the intros, everybody. I want to let everybody know how they can listen to us. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean. We got 2 Facebook pages right now, Toilets to Titles and When a Family Breaks, and we are also on Spotify. However you are listening, it would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button on any of our past episodes, throw us some comments, hit the bell. So anytime we go live, you are alerted because we go live a lot in season. Tuesday night, we're here, Toilets to Titles. Wednesday night, we have Joe Knows. He's recapping last week's games. Wednesday after that, we have Dollars to Deuces. Thursday night, we have a dash of DFS, which I host with Mike and our friend Joe Arachi. Saturday night, we have Down Under Dynasty. Sunday morning, we have Cup of Joe. And then Sunday, right after that, we have The Blitz, which is a live call-in show, ask-in show, where everyone on YouTube just sends in their start-sit questions on the spot. We answer them. Justin's there. Mike D's there. Alex is there. So subscribe to us. Hit the bell so that you're ready to go live with us when we go live. Also, if you have Apple Podcasts, be greatly appreciated. If you like the show, subscribe to the show and threw us a 5-star review. Check out toiletstitles.com All of our in-season content is in there, from our DFS lineups, our betting advice, starts and sits, all that good stuff. So guys, it's quite a bit of news, but there is one piece of news that just dropped, and I'm not sure if we know all of the pieces about this bit of news, but Jalen Smith was cut. Dallas cut him. I've been saying good riddance to Jalen for a while. He's never lived up to that player he was at Notre Dame. He tore his knee. It was a feel-good story. Like, I loved Jalen. So I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm just going to vent a little bit. I loved him coming out of Notre Dame, getting him in the second round. He was originally supposed to be a top 10 pick. Tore his knee, all the ligaments in his knee. Jerry took him in the second. Everyone said, oh, why do you do that, blah, blah, blah. But then you heard the New England Patriots had a second-round grade on him, and if the Cowboys didn't take him, the Patriots were. So, I mean, that's the company, in my opinion, you want to be in. So they took him. They rehabbed him. A year later, he's playing. He never really got feeling back in his heels and his toes. But it was kind of like we were all rooting for him. Came in like a bat out of hell his second year, played great. And then after that, he just was a disappointment. He was more about his brand. If you follow the Cowboys, if you follow Jalen Smith, he became a player who was more about his brand than he was about his production on the field. This is a guy who did his signature celebration when we're down like 20 points after like an 8-yard gain. And I'm not like exaggerating. This is stuff that happened. He is so tone deaf. He's clear eye view. That's his brand. Those are his sunglasses. He owns a gym. He owns this, that, and the other thing. And that was, one of the bad things about being a Cowboys fan, over the last few decades is the type of players that want to come play for us sometimes aren't the type of players that want to win championships. Those are the guys that want to make money off of being a Dallas Cowboy, because you're going to get publicity for being a Dallas Cowboy. So, it's time for this guy to go. And then he changed his number to 9 this offseason. And that was, to me, that was like the final straw. This guy, like, the fan base doesn't like him. Then you go and you take Tony Romo's number, which I knew immediately was going to be just a bad look. And he just didn't get it. He's out. I think he was guaranteed $7.2 million on his contract still. He would have freed up more cap space if we let him go next year. But supposedly there's some sort of verbiage in the contract that if he gets picked up, if he plays somewhere else, we might be off the hook for a decent bit of it. I'm interested to see why on a Tuesday night. Why on a Tuesday night did Jalen Smith get cut? Why not, after we just beat Carolina? I know we got Keanu Neal coming back, so he was sick. That's huge. Michael Parsons is obviously playing great. Van Der Esch is playing well. So we have guys that can play there. Jabril Cox, who we drafted at LSU, who's a great nickel linebacker. He's not necessarily a run stuffer, but he can get sideline to sideline. So we got the dudes. But why on a Tuesday night? So Nate, what are your thoughts on Jalen Smith being released?
Well, they just don't need him because, Trevon Diggs is like the best player ever to play football right now, apparently.
Man, he's hot. He's so hot right now.
He's awesome. No, he's so awesome. I was laughing because it said Smith paid like six figures to change his jersey number too. And that just makes me laugh when a guy like has to pay the money and then all it does is for nothing. But I'm confused too. Like you said, it's weird that it's Tuesday night, and then they cut him. And I have to think that something's going to come out, you know what I mean, that is, damning to him or whatever, that's going to be the reason why. Because, I mean, he hasn't been great, but it's not like he was looking like Kevin King, just letting, being the worst player on the defense. So, I'm confused, I guess.
It's pretty, like, to me, it's a little shocking, but it's also not devastating because he's just a guy who I think he was entitled. I think he was the starting linebacker and he lost all dog in him. And that's the type of stuff I want, like, out. That's not the culture you want if you want to try to win championships. You want to create competition. And with him there, he just felt like he was the dude and he didn't have to work. He didn't have to produce. Justin, you have any thoughts on Jalen Smith being cut? Justin is frozen. So let's move on. All right. Shanahan is adamant that Jimmy Garoppolo is still the starter if healthy and ready to play week 5 against the Cardinals. Nate, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like part of it is that because Shanahan's just trying to, make the team. I just forgot. Who are the Niners playing? I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Is it the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah, I believe. And I think that he's probably a little worried because, I mean, the Cardinals are very good, and they're probably going to. I mean, I think that's what I make sure before I say it. Yeah, it is Niners Cardinals. I feel like he's probably trying to play some games and have a guy. Well, they got a game plan for Trey Lance and for Jimmy G, even though they've been kind of doing that anyways, bringing him in here and there. But I don't think. In my opinion, I don't know if Trey Lance is ready to start. I think it won't be as bad as Justin Fields.
That's the thing. I don't think he looked like he didn't look like there was a step up in play when he stepped on the field. So it was his opportunity, but he didn't necessarily reach out and take it. You know what I mean? Like Achilles says, if you've ever seen Troy, when he talks about storming the beach and he says, victory is ours, take it. So Trey Lance did not do that.
No, and I mean, I don't know how the Niners lose that game. I mean, the Seahawks they didn't have a first down or anything for the first 25 minutes of that football game. They had like 7 yards. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Trey Lance is ready. He's going to be good, just not ready.
All right, let's move on to Urban Meyer. Justin's in here. I know he's got a little bit of a rant. He apologizes for being a distraction, apparently. Michael Silver tweeted that Urban Meyer's situation in Jacksonville has reached a crisis point, especially in the locker room. One player told him he has zero credibility in that stadium. He had very little to begin with. So Urban Meyer, I watched the video. I didn't see no digits. I didn't know how people were analyzed it so closely. I couldn't zoom in on my camera. I didn't see his hands, but I saw no digits. And that's about the extent of how far I'll get into it. So I don't think we need to get into all that. But Justin, have the floor. Go ahead.
There were 2 different camera angles. There's one that's being showed everywhere, and then there's one that's not being shown anywhere because it's not for young viewers to see. And it was blurred out in the few places that they did show.
So I missed it. So I didn't see the good video.
It was definitely 2. And but here's my point. Here's what I wanted to rant about. And I'm going to make it as short and sweet as possible because the more I think about it, I just want to do an entire bathroom breaks episode on this tomorrow morning. I've always thought that Urban Meyer was a sleaze. I've always felt that there was something wrong about that man. I've always known that he did all the underhanded, dirty stuff in college football.
Choice of words there. Choice of words there.
Perfect.
Okay, that was bad.
I love it.
There was no pun intended there, I promise. But he's vindicating me right now. And there is a local talk show, sports talk radio host here in Indiana, in central Indiana. His name is Dan Dockage. The dude is an arrogant, pompous ass, and he barely made his way into being a head basketball coach for IU at one point when they were between coaches because they had no other choice, and he's ridden that into a mediocre local radio host career. But he wants to act like he's top dog of everything sports, and he's constantly name dropping Urban Meyer like he's some kind of a god, and this puts them right there together yet again. It's just what I hate about this whole situation, other than the fact that obviously Urban Meyer is married and he shouldn't be doing stuff like this. Another big thing that I hate about it, though, is as a Colts fan, I want to see Urban Meyer stay in Jacksonville for as long as possible, because without all the perks of being able to pay and recruit players at the college level, he's not a good coach, and he's proven that already. And you just read a little bit of an excerpt from one of his current players, and I'm going to read more about what Silver tweeted tomorrow. That was did you say who actually tweeted that out?
Yes, I did. Michael Silver.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to read more about what he tweeted. It was actually a longer thread, and he goes in deeper into it tomorrow morning. But long story short, everybody should have seen this coming. Quit trying to hire sleaze buckets. And this, when I say sleaze buckets, I mean those top tier head coaches at the college football level. They're all doing it wrong. They're all breaking the rules, and that's why they're able to be successful for so long.
Man, do we think that it's possible Urban Meyer suffers from multiple personality disorder? Because he seems
like he's just a scumbag.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he ain't, but it's just, it seems to me, I said Jalen Smith is tone deaf for the things he did. Like, how dumb, like, I just can't, you're a professional coach. I can't imagine he's that thick to think he can go out and do that shit. It makes me think like something completely comes over this guy and like he blacks out and just acts a fool, because that just, it just seemed very dumb. Like you should know better, especially when listen, Urban Meyer, he was a college coach. I'm telling you, they have courses for these college football players where they sit them down and tell them what to do and what not to do and where to do it and where not to do it. And like that was probably 101. Don't do dumb shit at a bar because there's going to be people around you with cameras. So he knows better. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy that he made that decision? He knows better than to be doing that in public. Like, you are going to get caught. It almost looks like he wants to get caught. He's looking for a way to get out of Jacksonville. It looks to me like self-sabotage is real. It is real, whether he thinks it or not. There's something going on because he had to have known that shit was going to come to light. That's my opinion on it. But Nate, what do you think?
I mean, USC will still take him for being a scumbag. They don't care. They had Pete Carroll doing the same damn thing. So whatever. Yep. Anyways, the thing that really throws me off, but before all the stuff that happened, I mean, yeah, he's at his own bar or whatever back in Columbus. Everything I listened to in the last 2 days with different pro players, retired guys, they've never had like after a Thursday night game where the coach is like, all right, well, hey, see you guys later. I'm not taking the plane with you guys. Like that is the weirdest thing I've listened to, is that all these guys are like, that never happens. After Thursday night games, you're on the plane, we're going home. And you may have the weekend off, but you're still going home as a team. It's weird that he stayed back to see his grandkids or whatever the BS story he had was. Right. I don't know. Like I said,
it seemed like he was running away. He's running away. He's done in Jacksonville. He wants to get out in Jacksonville, and he's acting up, so he gives them a reason to let go of him. He's running away. Psychology person chiming in here. Okay, Justin, your wife is in here. She's chiming in. Let's hear what she has to say. We'll keep track. She's going to type it in the YouTube comments. We're going to see what she has to say about Meyer. While she's putting that in there, let's move on to David Montgomery.
She does teach psychology classes, by the way, for IU.
Oh, she said it's not dissociative identity disorder, but it very well could be narcissistic personality disorder. Interesting. So I'm onto something. And that's coming from a psychologist. So clearly I know what the hell I'm talking about, because the psychologist is saying I know what I'm talking about. Narcissists think they can get away with anything.
Well, he hired the strength coach from Iowa that was like reported like very racist and very terrible to a lot of players, and he hires him anyway in Jacksonville. And then it all comes out, and then they fire him.
She just let us know. Sorry, she just let us know she's not a psychologist, but she did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, he also brought in Tim Tebow, who had been retired from the NFL for the last 37 years.
I wonder what he needs. The dude needs Jesus. Urban Meyer needs Jesus.
The dude needs to sell tickets.
He needs Jack Easterby.
Listen, maybe his wife was like, Urban Meyer, you're a wreck. I'm only letting you coach professional football if you sign Timmy, because I need Timmy to keep an eye on you down there. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Bet Tim is just beside himself after seeing that video of his best friend, Urban Meyer.
Yep. I don't know if they're best friends. Man, Urban Meyer's
I'm tired of talking about this.
Urban Meyer's seen some shit. I hate to curse on this show.
Yeah, that dude sending winky pics at the White House when they won the national championship.
He has seen some things. Think about the players that dude's been around. Like, think about, the Pounceys. Like, they're no angels. Aaron Hernandez. He coached Cam Newton when Cam Newton was a freshman at Florida, when he stole some dude's laptop, ran from the campus police, and threw it out a window, and then got expelled from school. Like, the dude's been around some stuff. But yes, let's move on. David Montgomery's out 4 to 5 weeks with a knee injury. That's upsetting, because I think he's looked very good. I think we're going to get to this a little bit more later on. I think, it's Damien Williams is right now the primary backup, but I like Khalil Herbert, so keep an eye on that. But again, I think we're going to talk about this a little bit more later on. And then Large Ben has a hip injury, according to Tomlin. When doesn't Roethlisberger have a hip injury? This dude always got something. He wants the world to know that he's in pain and he's fighting through it. He's a martyr. Ben Roethlisberger's a martyr.
I feel like it's a way for them to segue into whether it's Dewey Haskins or Mason Rudolph, whoever.
How
It's not
about
going to
this?
matter. I mean,
How about they go up the highway
ha-
or down the highway, go to the Eagles, send them something for Gardner Minshew. Let's get Minshew Mania over to Pittsburgh. Let's have him
They win
throwing
football
the
games
rock
with
to
him.
Claypool, Juju, Deontay. Get me Minshew. I know Justin hates him, man, but I think he's mini Fitzpatrick.
Well, I think the biggest reason I don't like Minshew, because before I liked him well enough in Jacksonville because he had the jorts. It's going to be a lot harder to wear those jorts in cold weather.
Yeah, but man, how much more?
Nice, tough guy. He'll be fine.
Exactly. How much more like Pittsburgh is it to wear jorts in the cold weather? Like that's so
That's
Pittsburgh.
That's true. That's true.
You know, that's and that's almost taking a book out of Ben Roethlisberger's library there. You know, I don't know. Is that a saying?
Don't take too many books out of his library. You get in trouble.
Is that a saying?
We have
a book out of somebody's library.
We have moved on from the Urban Meyer thing. I just want to remind people, if you want to keep reading the comments from our resident psychology major that's still in the comments, still going. And I know this woman, so it might be going on for a while.
Yep. All right. Enough for nothing. It looked like this girl was assaulting Urban Meyer a little bit too. There was a little bit of mutual assaulting going on in the video I saw.
Yeah, but one of them we know is a married man that has a reputation to uphold.
But also the woman probably knows he's a married man. And, you know, she's got no business, whatever.
And obviously knew he wasn't about to get up from the bar.
Yeah. Yep. So
it's his own bar. He owns the restaurant.
Yeah.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
He also owns a car he could have hopped in too.
Yeah. He could have Ubered.
He should have been on Shad Khan's yacht. Nobody's there on the yacht.
Yeah. Or he should have been chilling in the jacuzzi at the stadium, man. The Jaguars, do they still have that pool?
Or like Nate said, flying back with your team.
Yeah, do what most coaches do.
Your job.
What would Tebow do? What would Tebow do? Tebow would be on the plane, you know, with the team. Urban. Just always think, what would Timmy do? You'll be fine if you think, what would Timmy do? All right. Timmy would probably support our Patreon. Patreon.com/close-to-titles. Tier 1 is $3 a month. Gets you into our team group chat on Discord 24/7. Fantasy football advice and other things. We can talk about stuff like this if you want. Tier 2 is $5 a month. Get you into that chat. Get you early access to the Waiver Wire episodes Justin releases every Monday night. And it gets you into Frankenstein next year. Tier 3 is $10 a month. Get you all that. Plus one-on-one roster analysis and that Frankenstein entry you get in Tier 3. It's free. So you don't have to worry about paying for Frankenstein next year. So we'd appreciate that. You joined our Patreon because we need more people in the Discord chat. What are you laughing about? Less than a case of Nate's White Claw. Yes, that's true. That is very true.
I do some of those to drink. I bought them for Finley's party, so I was drinking a few of them. You know.
All right, kicking them back, man. You deserved it. You were working hard. But hey, games of the week. Games of the week. The games we are looking forward to watching. Justin, why don't you rattle off last week's results, Scatman?
All right, so games of the week. Last week, Coach, you ended up winning. You went with the Vegas Raiders and the Chargers. It was a 14-point, 2-score, almost kind of blowout because I feel like the game wasn't even as close as 14 points would suggest. And yet you still somehow won because Nate sucked just a little bit more than how bad you did with the Ravens at Denver, a 16-point difference. And then I sucked even more than that with my Cardinals at Rams with a 17-point difference. So overall in the season, I'm last as always, 41 overall points.
Not as always. Last year you won the bathroom board.
No, I mean as always, as in every single week so far this season on this game.
In this particular, as always, over the last 4 weeks in this game. Got it.
Yeah, and then Coach, you are in second with 31, and you are right behind Nate now with 29. So you guys have a nice little battle going, and I'm just going to keep watching from way back here.
No, you need to turn it on. You need to pick some close games, man.
I think I did. I think I got a great one this week.
But so you could always turn it around,
Coach
man.
Did not pick a close one.
We could go from the toilets to the titles. All right, you can go from the toilet to the titles here. I picked a close one. Watch. I picked Jets at Falcons. No. The only reason I'm picking it is because it's football for breakfast. All right, you can't see this game being like 34-30, Nate? You can't see this game
I can see it being like 34-3 Jets.
You don't think the Falcons are going to score?
Jets. Whoa.
The Jets are going to dog walk them.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to see some fireworks out there in England, and I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm excited for Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson looked good last week, and I think it's going to be like a little bit of a relief leaving New York after coming out hot last week. He gets to get out of New York. He gets to get out of the spotlight. He gets to go just play football. I think this cat's going to continue to roll. And I mean, the Falcons, they're not good, but they're staying in games. They're just staying in games. I mean, they beat the Giants. All right. I don't know how, but they did. And just because they hung around, and I think they're going to hang around in this game. And I do think it's going to be a good one, but that is not why I picked it. I picked it because it's football for breakfast, and I cannot wait for some 9:30 a.m. football. Justin, what is your game of the week?
Yeah, so I chose, again, I'm going to choose the games that I want to see, that I'm excited to watch, regardless of what I think the score is going to be. And that's pretty obvious by my outcome every week. But Bills at Chiefs. But luckily, fortunately, I think this one could be one of those games that comes down to whoever has the ball last. So hopefully I am within that 1 to 5 point range here, but to try to gain some points on you guys. But the Bills at the Chiefs, you've got Josh Allen versus Mahomes. You got Tyreek versus Diggs. You got Kelsey versus Knox, who is now turning out to be a hell of a guy, especially for fantasy purposes. Nate, that one is all you, buddy. You have been on Dawson since Dawson's Creek. It seems like
way too long.
So there's a lot of fantasy football implications in this game. There's a lot of potential playoff implications in this game. It's Sunday night football. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to watch. So that's my game of the week.
All right, Nate, what's your game of the week, my guy?
Browns at the Chargers. I'm excited. That Browns defense is really good. Browns-Vikings was a very boring game last weekend, but I think this one's going to be a little different. Herbert and those guys, they came out hot last night against the Raiders. Kind of slowed down a little bit, but that team is phenomenal, and I think the Browns are really good, obviously, and that game's going to be fun. Be nice, nice 3 games for the day. We get the early morning and then late afternoon and Sunday night. So I think it'll be 3 good ones.
Man, we got the good ones all lined up for Sunday. Nate, how should people be betting this week? What are our locks for the week?
Well, hopefully we do a little better. I was 2-2 last week, but I'll take that. That's not too bad. So hit on the Dolphins and the Colts. I picked the Colts plus 2.5, and they beat the hell out of them. Those Dolphins are really bad, which I'm going to pick on again this week. Then hit the Browns minus 2.5. Missed on the Lions. I don't want to talk about it. They were like 0 for 5, goal to go. We can talk about that later. And then Broncos minus 1. Yeah, bad. Anyways, moving on. New week. I took the Jets plus 3 at the Falcons in London. I think the Jets are going to keep rolling. They look a lot better against the Titans. Neither the Titans or the Falcons have very bad defenses. I think Zach Wilson, and like you said, very relaxed. Feels good to be out of New York. And I think it's going to be fun for him. There's a lot of young guys on that team that haven't probably ever been to London, so they're probably actually excited to go, or a lot of veterans don't really want to go over there because it's such a weird week, having to travel. So I think that'll kind of help them. So I like the Jets plus 3, Tampa Bay minus 10.5 with Miami coming to town. Like I said, Dolphins are terrible. I really hope Prescott would have done a lot better. And yeah, he struggles. And the offensive line is very, very bad. Very bad for the Dolphins, and that
what
is not.
What the hell happened to the Dolphins? I thought
front.
The Dolphins were going to take a turn this year. Like I legitimately thought their defense was going to be great. I thought they were moving in the right direction. I understand Tua's hurt, but it just goes to show you. I don't think Tua's the answer, and I don't think Brissett's the answer. I know we haven't seen much of Tua, but they do need a quarterback, man. I think it would change a lot for them.
Well, I mean, and the home losses, they get blown out by the Bills. And then they get pretty much blown out by the Colts. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's very weird.
Is
how
Flores on the hot seat?
Changed so fast.
Is Flores on the hot seat?
I don't think he's awesome. I don't think so. I mean, like I said, that offensive line's so bad that it makes it hard to do much of anything. So, but anyways, Tampa Bay minus 10.5. Lock it in. Next one, Raiders minus 5.5. Got the Bears coming to town. Bears are 2-2, but they are by far the worst 2-2 team there is. I haven't seen anything very good. They beat the Lions, but anyways. And then my last one, Cowboys minus 7 versus the Giants. Cowboys are rolling. That team is awesome. Defense is so good. They're going to walk away with the NFC East, no problem. So, yeah, Coach, you got it. They're good.
I hope
Real
so,
good.
man. I think it's that's going to take me right into my dudes and duds for the week. I'm going to start out with my dudes. I usually don't like to, I'll talk about the Cowboys, but I don't usually like to talk them up before a matchup. I just get a little nervous about, I don't know, setting myself up. But this week, I got Dak Prescott as a dude at the New York Giants. Dak has been quiet as of late, but this one right here is a revenge game. The New York Giants ended Dak's season last year, and if you don't think he's had this game circled in the schedule, like since it was released, you're kidding yourself. I think he's clearly fired up for this one, and I think we're going to see him light it up, like absolutely light it up. Zeke has looked awesome. Defenses need to respect that running game. Pollard looks very good. Lamb's been quiet. Cooper's been quiet. Schultz and Jarwin have been doing their thing, but defenses need to respect that run game, and I think Dak is just going to go off. Also, Zach Wilson at Atlanta. Heineke just hit the Falcons for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he added 43 yards on the ground. All right, Wilson is coming off of his best outing of his young professional career. He's licking his chops right now. He is ready to eat against Atlanta in London. He's going to have some fish and chips out there. All right, Nick Chubb at the LA Chargers. Mayfield has been mediocre at best. The Browns' best chance of winning football games is feeding Chubb and playing stout defense, which I think they can continue to do. The Chargers have shown they can be run on. The Browns will attack that part of the game this week. So look for Nick Chubb to be a feature in that game plan. Damien Harris at Houston. After a horrific outing against the Bucs, like very bad. I think he had -3 yards on 4 carries. He'll face a Texans defense that just let Devin Singletary and Zach Moss combine for 140 yards on the ground. This is the week to start Damien Harris. CeeDee Lamb versus the New York Giants. Lamb has 3 receptions or less in each of his last 2 games, and the Cowboys have looked to be feeding Zeke, spreading the ball around through the air. This week, Dak is on a mission, as I said earlier, and CeeDee Lamb is going to be targeted a lot. Count on a bounce-back performance. Deontay Johnson versus Denver. When Johnson is on the field, he gets the volume. You just can't argue that. He's a weekly start. And this week, he should have a strong performance against the Denver defense, who looked average at best against the pass last week. My final start, Nate, is Dawson Knox, Kansas City. Mr. Knox, sir. If you ever read Fox and Socks, there's a dude named Mr. Knox, all right? Mr. Knox, sir, that's Dawson Knox. He lives in the end zone right now. I finally feel like he's a consistent start, and I'm riding this wave until I fall off. My duds for the week. First, quarterback Jalen Hurts at Carolina. Carolina's defense was just shredded on the ground, but their pass defense looked strong, and they applied a lot of pressure on Dak last week. Hurts will have a hard time producing this week through the air or on the ground. Those Panthers linebackers swarm to the quarterback like sharks to chum. Baker Mayfield at the Los Angeles Chargers. Mayfield has been underwhelming so far this season, and I believe the Browns' game script will favor the running game this week. Chris Carson versus the Los Angeles Rams. Carson's stat line this past week was a bit worrisome. To make matters worse, the Hawks gave him a rest day on Monday. Is he banged up? I don't know. Are they trying to lighten his workload? I don't know. Not sure, but I'm not touching him in this one. All right. Dolphins backfield at Tampa Bay. Simply put, Dolphins stink, and you cannot run on the Buccaneers. Kenny Galladay at Dallas. Trevon Diggs is a wide receiver 1 eliminator. Daniel Jones will do his best to avoid Galladay this week and spare himself of the weekly Trevon Diggs interception show. Juju Smith-Schuster versus Denver. Juju had 2 receptions on 8 targets last week. That is just not efficient at all. Whether it's on Juju or Big Ben, it needs to be noted. That offense is in trouble, and I'm benching Juju until they figure it out. Noah Fant at Pittsburgh. Through 4 games, the Steelers' defense has led up about 115 yards to tight ends, with the bulk of those yards coming from Darren Waller in week 2. This just isn't a good matchup for Fant. Bench him if you have other options. Everybody, you can go to toiletstotitles.com starting on Wednesday at noon. The dudes and duds will be in there. So all of these notes, everything I put on these guys, you can go and check it out. So you don't have to write it all down. Sunday morning, you want to say, hey, who does Coach Sheps have as his dudes and does? It starts and sits. Go to toiletstotitles.com. You can check it all out. All right, I'm going to pass it off to my man Justin right now for his Turtleheads, the players that are about to break out.
All right, so I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I've had one heck of a week at work. I've been swamped, parent-teacher meetings tonight, and that's why this evening I'm I've got a little bit of liquid courage here that's helping to get me through the episode. So.
Can I just say something?
Yes, sir.
You're over here complaining about the week you had. How about Urban Meyer? What a week that guy's had, right? He's coaching the Jaguars. He's just getting himself in all sorts of trouble with his wife, with the organization, with his players. Come on, just let's weigh it out here, Justin.
You haven't met my students yet.
Okay.
And at least a handful of them are going to watch this episode.
Stop! Another bad choice of words, Justin.
Oh, dude. Okay, at least a few of my students are going to watch this episode on Thursday. And they're going to laugh about it. And then they're going to be like, hey, Mr. Steve mentioned us. And then I'm going to say, why aren't you working right now instead of watching YouTube videos? Like,
yeah, right. Wink, wink.
That's what I deal with. So
wink, wink. Watch more of our episodes is what you're really going to say. Wink, wink.
I'm going to email them the link to the next episode. But anyway, so I've got Darius Slayton on for my Turtlehead. So I'm kind of coming at it from a couple of different angles here. He's only currently rostered in just over 8% of redraft leagues on ESPN right now. So he's free. Your waivers are going to run tonight, but chances are he's not going to be picked up. He missed last week, still has the hamstring injury. Within the next couple of weeks, he'll be back. He'll be healthy. But look at what guys like John Ross are doing. What guys like who was the Turtlehead that you mentioned?
Colin Johnson, who got completely shut out last week.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Last week.
Sorry.
He didn't do anything this past week, but he's just one of those guys that have been filling in nicely for Darius Slayton while he was gone. He actually came in after Slayton got hurt. Look at Kadarius Toney, what he's done this week. So these guys are filling in and trying to play the role that Darius Slayton would have been playing. And before he got hurt, I want to remind you guys, I know I've mentioned it on the show already, but those first 2 weeks, he was literally a half an inch of an overthrow away from being a mid-wide receiver 2 on an offense that's going to throw the ball a lot with a quarterback that's scoring a lot of fantasy football points right now. I'm very confident that Darius Slayton is going to finish the season points per game average, even if you include the 1 point or the 2 points that he got against Atlanta in week 3. He's going to finish as a wide receiver 2 at worst by the end of the season. So he's a guy that you want to pick up. He's going to be the number 1 target in that offense. I said it even over Galladay because he's the better wide receiver in my mind, and he has more overall talent. And Daniel Jones is going to throw him the ball.
My honorable mention for the week is Khalil Herbert. Go pick him up. I know Justin's going to talk about Damien Williams in a little bit, but I think Khalil Herbert fits, kind of more of that David Montgomery mold than Damien Williams does. I think there'll be a role for Damien Williams, but I think Khalil Herbert will establish himself a role. If you can roster him, if he's not already rostered, all it takes is a good performance. He can get hot, and then you can get 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks of good production from him. But let's see how he does this week. I definitely hold him. He's definitely worth a stash in any redraft leagues, any dynasty leagues. Stash Khalil Herbert. All right, slow your rolls. So slow your roll when we started this was players we aren't yet sold on, but it's kind of evolved into ideas and thoughts we also aren't yet sold on. So I'm going to start this thing out. I am saying slow your roll on burying the Jets. I understand the Jets aren't a contender, but I live in New York. Jets fans are not panicking. They're just disheartened. They just think it's the same old Jets. What they do is they draft quarterbacks, they get new coaches, and they just stink. That's their cycle. And they're kind of like they don't even look upset. They're just kind of used to it. And what I'm trying to say is to Jets fans, to the NFL world, don't bury the Jets just yet. I like Zach Wilson. All right, his performance last week, I think it was good, and I think he's going to come up after it. I'm starting him this week. I have him in my dudes list. I like how the Jets drafted. I like Michael Carter. I like Vera Tucker. This guy Quincy Williams, who I had Justin put up on the waiver wire episode, that linebacker who's Quinnen Williams' brother, he's a stud. He's flying around the field, and he just got a start, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. He goes from having, his first start, has 5 tackles last week or 2 weeks ago, 10 tackles this week, and a sack. And go watch his hit on Derrick Henry. This dude flew up and smacked Derrick Henry with no fear. And I'm going to respect any linebacker who's willing to do that. So I like Robert Saleh. Give the Jets time. And I know it's hard to say because they've had a lot of time, but give Robert Saleh, give Zach Wilson, give that offensive line, give that team some time. I'm not burying them. I'm not expecting them to make the playoffs, but I'm not burying them. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I was going to say, all offseason I've been talking about how excited I was to watch this progression of this young team. And I agree with you 100%. They've slowly started looking better and better already. So while this week I think they're still not quite all the way there, that might kind of bode well that they're playing such a horrible team this week. So so that's all a part of that progression. So it's already starting to get to that point where it's a little bit better. It's a decent product that every 5th to 8th play they make a play where you think, wow, there's something special here. So I agree with you 100%.
All right, Nate, what is your slow your roll for the week?
So I wasn't really sure where to go, but today I heard some buffoon on the radio talking about how Justin Fields is the best. The Bears are going to win the Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. They're 2-2. They stink. They beat the Bengals somehow. I don't know how that happened. They beat the Lions, who were, I think, like I said, 0 for 5 on goal-to-go situations. Whether that's Motor City Dan Campbell's fault or the Lions aren't good. Doesn't matter. But Justin Fields is not ready to be out there. And I think Andy Dalton needs to be out there to show him, what to do, how to do things. Because you watch Fields play and it's one read, gone. One read, I'm running. And he's not ready. And I'm not saying he's not going to be good, but I worry about him in Chicago just because, I don't know, it seems like they just kill quarterbacks. And I'm not saying Mitch Trubisky was going to be good, but I don't think it helped having Nagy halftime calling the plays or Bill Lazor or whatever the case was. But I get tired of hearing everybody around here saying how, they're 2-2. They're the best. They're not. They're very, very
Let's
bad.
get Lincoln Riley out there in Chicago. I've said it on a few episodes. Get him out of Oklahoma. I want to see him running that offense with old Justin Fields. Man, Rule came down. I wasn't expecting too much from him, man. He turned the Panthers around in like 2 years. They were without Christian McCaffrey, and that defense is playing tough. Like those dudes are fighting. So let's see another college coach because Nagy's got to go.
I agree.
He needs to get out of there.
Nagy, Lazor, Brian Pace, get him out of there.
Get him out of there.
Going to ruin everything.
Clean house. Yeah. The Bears stink.
Yes.
All right.
They stink. Justin. And also, so do all the quarterbacks coming in this year for the draft. They stink.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. Except Desmond Ridder. That guy's the man.
Okay. I like Matt Corral, too, from Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I like him. He's got some, but now the thing is, because I like Matt Corral if he's like the 4th or 5th quarterback off the board. If you're getting him in the 2nd or 3rd round, like how the Raiders got Derek Carr, I like Corral in that kind of area. But because the other quarterbacks stink, I think he might get overdrafted, which is going to hurt him overall because he's going to end up with a team that probably stinks.
It's like Ridder is.
What's that, Justin?
I was going to say, just in time for my Colts to need a quarterback.
All right, so there you go. You can get yourself some Matt Corral.
I said I like Desmond Ridder. He needs to be drafted like Dak Prescott was.
Right.
That will work. But, I'm
how about that guy? Sorry. Dang, Dakota. You ever see that video?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Rain Dakota's the man.
I like that video. All right, Justin, who is your slow your roll, or what is your slow your roll?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire again. And mostly just because it kind of rubbed me the wrong way today whenever I saw doing it again. All right. I promise you, I'm not doing it on purpose, but I saw on Twitter today, between Twitter and one of my group chats, I keep seeing about how Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of them, and I might be paraphrasing because I saw it earlier and I was busy, but I think this is a direct quote. One of them said something about he's starting to come around. Another said that he's starting to find his rhythm, and I'm like, seriously, guys, he finally got a red zone touchdown, and it was like a 2-yard shovel pass that didn't even look good. Like the shovel pass, the play itself even looks sloppy, and he still somehow found his way into the end zone. So without that, It's another mediocre week for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, just like almost every other week that he's ever played in the NFL. Stop with the Clyde Edwards-Helaire love. He's a low-end RB2 most weeks if you're lucky. So that's my slow your roll.
Man, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you heard it here first. He stinks too. This guy stinks every Friday night. Titles. All right. All right. At this time next week, we'll be saying, Justin, what are we going to be saying at this time next week?
We're going to be saying, I can't remember his name, but who was that running back that used to run the ball for Chicago for the Bears back before Damien Williams was the running back? That's what we're going to be saying, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Stats. We got stats. Right. He's a big stats guy.
We got stats. So Damien Williams, these are his stats. Any game that he had at least 10 rushing attempts or more in 2017, 18, and 19. So he has a 9-game sample size there. And within those 9 games where he was able to get at least 10 touches or more, he was a top 12 running back 6 of 9 times. He was a top 25 running back 9 of 9 times. So with 10 or more touches or 10 or more rushing attempts, he was a top 25 running back or better every single time. 0 games outside of the top 25 with 10 or more carries, right? David Montgomery over 2019, 2020, and 2021. 10 out of 27 games where he had 10 or more rushes. 27-game sample size with 10 or more rushes. He had 10 out of those 27 games where he was a top 12 running back. 17 out of 27 where he was top 25. And 10 out of 27 games where he ended up outside of the top 25.
That's 37. You just said 30. That's 37, Justin.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So 37. That's even worse. Hold on.
Because you said 10 and then 17 and then 10.
Okay.
Math teacher.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Because listen, 10 out of 27 where he was in the top 12. And then 17 out of 27 where he was in the top 25. That includes the 10 in the top 12.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Right. So then 10 games out of the 27 where he finished outside the top 25. Right?
So there were really 7 games that he was an RB2. There were 10 games he was an RB1. There were 7 games that he was an RB2 out of 25.
Correct. And 10 games out of 27. That's a pretty large percentage, especially if you consider the fact that most of Damien Williams' 10, like the games where he had 10 or more touches or 10 or more rushes were a lot closer to 10, and Montgomery's were a lot closer to 20 because he was
I'd be interested to see how many of those were he was a rookie, because last year he balled.
Okay, let's see. So last year, let's even just look at last year. Last year, his games where David Montgomery, where he had 10 or more touches, he had he finished 38th overall as a running back, the RB 38 overall, then 8, then 40, 27, then 13, 14, 21, 21, 48, 6, 1, 6, 2, 8, 5. So he finished up really
6, 1, 6, 2, 8, 5.
Yep. 6 games at the very end of the season, he finished up
when
really well.
When do we play in the fantasy football playoffs?
And listen, during that
when do we play in the fantasy football playoffs?
You evidently play in the fantasy football the playoffs when Tariq Cohen goes down and when you have the easiest schedule in the NFL over the
How's he done this year?
6-game stretch. This year, 8th overall, 24th overall, 38th overall, and then 5th overall. So not great, not great. And I'm pretty sure that 8 or 5, one of those was against the Lions. So that's
tell me a running back who's been consistent this season. Even go look at Jonathan Taylor's numbers.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
Nick
exactly.
Chubb.
Go look at Jonathan Taylor.
Exactly.
Jonathan Taylor's had 2 running back 1 weeks.
Exactly right. But you know who has been consistent over the last 3 years of his career when he has 10 or more rushes? That's Nick Chubb. I'm trying to get at. No, well, maybe Nick Chubb. Maybe Nick Chubb, but also Damien Williams.
All right, well, what I'm going to be saying next week is that Justin is wrong about Damien Williams. So that's what I'm going to be saying next week. So you heard it here. He's wrong. David Montgomery. This dude carried the Bears offense last year. The Bears stink. They had absolutely no threat outside of David Montgomery. Everybody knew David Montgomery was going to be running the football. I don't care that the teams stink. When defenses stink and they can focus on one part of the game and try to take it away, these are still professional defenses. And David Montgomery was shredding them. Last week, that dude looked phone booth elusive. He gets hurt. I'm upset. And then Justin comes out here and he talks smack about my man. And now I'm real frustrated. And Damien Williams, I hope he stinks. I hope Damien Williams doesn't finish RB2 or higher this week. That's what I hope.
Hey, so a couple of things. For one, I might be a little partial here because I own several shares of Michael Thomas, and I'm hurting in most of my flex spots with Michael Thomas. And in 4 of those leagues, I also happen to own Damien Williams, who's now going to get me by until Michael Thomas gets back.
So it's what is that called? Selective optimism.
Yeah, well, also, I only selected the stats that were going to help my argument as well. But also, I want to throw this out here because I was trying to get a Turtlehead from a known expert, a friend of ours, a friend of the show, longtime supporter of the show, and he has chimed in here into the chat. Joshua Bigby from Fusion Fantasy Football. It's been a little while since we've had him on the show or mentioned Fusion, so it's about time we did anyway. And he is dropping out Deontay Harris as his Turtlehead for all the world to see here. So thank you for chiming in, Josh.
That sounds so funny.
That's funny.
He's dropping out his Turtlehead for all the world to see.
You know what? I've realized that I have much funnier one-liners to you guys when I'm drinking.
Yeah. She says Justin's sassy this evening, man. He's a little sassy, but we like sassy Justin.
Yeah, I'm starting to sweat a little.
All right, Joshua's saying it's Deontay Harris versus Washington. What about Washington? They stink, man. I thought their defense was going to be the #1 defense in the NFL. I thought that strongly. And boy, was I wrong. But Nate, what are we going to be saying at this time next week, man?
Are we sure Trey Lance is ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? We're not. Also, Jets, Jets.
Oh, that's 2. Nate, you sly dog. He threw 2 in there. That's cheating.
I had to.
I'll allow it. We'll allow it. He's down on Trey Lance. He's up on Zach Wilson. That's a rookie quarterback message right there. He's down with 1, up with the other guys. Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
I would say with Zach Wilson and the Jets, I'm not like said, or actually, I take that back. With Trey Lance, I'm not like down on Trey Lance like forever. I'm just saying he's not ready.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm here.
He will be eventually, just not right now.
He needs time, man. Trey Lance needs a little bit of break. All right, I don't know what he needs. I'm trying to put my finger on it, but
he needs a couple strong fingers. Maybe Urban will help him.
All right, everybody. If you could, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell so you were alerted every single time we went live. You can come in, join us in the chat. You can ask us questions. You can make comments. We can react to it. That would be greatly appreciated. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/toilets and titles. Tier 1 is only $3. It gets you. I was raising 4 fingers. It's 3. Tier 1 is only $3. It gets you right into our Discord chat. And then what you can do in there is ask us all your start-sit questions, trade questions, lineup questions, all of that, dude. We're 24/7 in that Discord chat. We got guys from Australia. We got guys from all over the globe. So I'm telling you, for $3 a month, you're getting all access fantasy football advice all season. We would love to have you in there. Check out all of our shows tomorrow night, today is Tuesday. My head is backwards right now. Wednesday nights, we got Joe recapping last week's football. After that, we got Nate and Rich. They're doing Dollars to Deuces, talking about betting, props, picks, parlays, all that good stuff. Thursday night is Dash of DFS. Saturday night, we got Down on Dynasty. Sunday morning, we have Joe recapping Saturday night's college football stuff and then talking about Sunday's NFL slate. And then after that, we got Mike, we got Justin, we got Alex doing the Blitz where you guys can ask all your start-sit questions. Before we end this thing, you guys have anything you'd like to get out there? Sounds like
keep
you
staying
know.
positive and testing negative.
There we go. There we go. All right. Well, everybody, we appreciate you. It's week 5. Go out, win your fantasy football matches. Come back. Let us know how you did. Let us know if we helped you. Go to toiletsandtitles.com. We hope to see you there. I hope to see you in the Discord chat. Take care. Have a good week. Stay safe.